1 year ago today, I filmed a house tour of this bus, and that was when we first moved inside that bus, and I can confidently tell you guys that a lot has changed since we first started doing van life. And today I'm going to go over what has changed, what hasn't changed, what has been installed, what has broken, and everything that I would do differently to build this bus differently. Because trust me, there's a lot of things that I would do differently if I were to start over. And to be fair, I'm also going to film a couple of sections of this bus that I didn't cover in my original video, just because I think it's only fair to you guys for me to be a little transparent. And the first section that I'm going to cover is this bus. It's something that I didn't ever talk about. This right here is a 2006 Ford E450. It's a V10 engine, and it's basically a shuttle bus. It was a shuttle bus when we originally got it, but I know a lot of people call it a van, a lot of people call it a bus, a lot of people call it a shuttle bus. To me, I call it everything. I call it a van, I call it a shuttle bus, I call it a bus. It's all the same thing, to be honest. Now, like I said, this is a 2006, so we definitely didn't buy it new. It was used. When we bought it, originally had 118,000 miles. Bought this thing on Facebook Marketplace for a total of $4,500. For me, when I was personally getting into this lifestyle, I wanted something that was cheap, I wanted something that was a little bit reliable, and I wanted something that was low miles, and that's exactly what this was. But unfortunately, we've definitely had some mechanical issues with it. We blew our transmission a couple months ago. We've been through the ringer with this entire thing. You don't need to buy as an expensive vehicle, but I think you should definitely invest a little bit more money than what I did for this puppy, because it's, like I said, had a lot of issues so far. Coming into the back of the bus, something that I don't think I showed in my last home tour was our garage. As you can tell, it's very cluttered. This is our biggest storage unit right here. We have a bunch of bins that store a bunch of different things you can only imagine. You know, what we store in here. I mean, think we're trying to live a regular lifestyle, so imagine everything that you have in a house, everything is back here as well. Now in these bins, it's pretty simple. We just have a bunch of things in it, right, for camping and everything. We have our water hose to fill our water tank, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We have a couple coolers. We have some propane, extra propane. We have a health kit. We have a jack. We have a projector if we want to set up a projector outside, an awning. Everything is all in here. Now, just for a little bit of a close-up, like I said, everything that is like mechanically sound, or you know, a couple other bigger things are over here. And then on the right-hand side, these bins that are right here fit actually pretty perfectly right in this section. Something that I wanted to talk about as well, something I didn't hit on in my last conversion tour, was how we really get water. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but right there is actually a 50-gallon water tank that basically stores all of our water. Right behind that water tank is basically all the plumbing, just basic plumbing, like a water pump, some PEX pipes, and accumulator, a filter, and all that things to make sure we get good and clean water. But that is basically how we get our water. That's the water that we drink from sometimes. We also shower with that water. We use the sink for that water. That 50-gallon tank lasts us about a week, sometimes even longer depending on where we are. If it's, you know, a little bit hotter weather, it might go a little bit sooner, but it's been pretty good for us. Moving on to the electrical part of the build. I don't think I actually showed this in my last tour, but yeah, as I said, kind of have to take out the bed to access this. Okay, that is out of the way. So as you can tell, once the bed is out, it's actually pretty accessible. I have this under here, which is basically just our inverter charger and a bunch of storage. And then right here, obviously homes all of the electrical, and I'll show you guys in a second, but just want to emphasize that I'm definitely not going to go as in depth in this video with the electrical, just because I literally covered it in one of my previous videos. I'll link it in the description. But if you guys have any other questions, then just let me know. To break it down in a very basic and kindergarten way, all we have is our batteries. That is the thing that powers all of the lights and, you know, electrical outlets like that one, and every appliance like the fan or the fridge that's down there. Those batteries store all of the power that we get from the solar panels, which are on top of the roof. We do have 100 amp hour batteries. We have 3 of them, so in total we have 300 amps. But this electrical system for me has been personally really good. I haven't necessarily had to troubleshoot or change anything. I know a lot of people have horror stories of like, you know, they get out on the road for a couple months and then like all the electrical goes bad. Knock on wood, but this has been going good for me for the full year that I was, you know, doing this type of lifestyle. Maybe a couple hiccups here and there, but mainly it all came from just not having enough sun to power the batteries. For the electrical piece, I wouldn't do anything differently just because, again, it's been working pretty good for us. I think I might just change the accessibility. Like getting to the electrical is kind of a pain in the ass, as you can tell. Like I'm battling with this bed right now. Yeah, other than that, it's been really good for us. All right, now coming up onto the roof. I covered this in my last conversion, and to be honest with you, not a lot has changed because again, with the electrical, everything has just been going good. I try to keep it as simple as possible. We have 4 200 watt hours of solar panels, so 800 in total. And like I said, for us, it's been plenty of enough solar panels and power to get us through, you know, however long we need it. But there has been those incidents where, you know, it was a little bit more cloudy out and not a lot of power coming to the solar panels, but other than that, it's been pretty good. Now, the last thing that I would definitely change with the roof section of this build is how you get on top of the roof. As you can tell, this is not the safest play in the world. I would have definitely installed a ladder. I was thinking right here, but this is obviously where our wheel is kind of covering it, and I don't really know where I'm gonna put a ladder here. Maybe on the side of the bus? I don't know. When we were first starting out doing this bus build, that was honestly the least of my priorities. And yeah, I don't know. Keeps me honest getting up there every single time. Finally getting inside the bus. I know we were doing the electrical and you guys kind of had a little bit of a glimpse of inside the bus, but finally gonna start with the driver cab. And I think the best play to do this is just to go all the way back to the bus. But starting out with this section, I call this, again, the driver cab. I have a bunch of different things up here. It's, you know, one of the more favorite parts of my build, just because I don't really know if I would really change much. Up here, we have some storage that holds basically everything. Our camera gear, our bags, our suitcase when we want to go home. Holds a lot of storage up there. This was actually dead space within a shuttle bus, so when you're building a bus or a van or RV or whatever, you got to make the most of your space, and that was definitely one of those situations. What I'm sitting on right here is actually a boat chair. It can actually come out, and if we want to ever take it out, we can, but yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just a boat chair. We consider this our passenger seat. I really contemplated this move just because, like, yes, it does have a seatbelt and everything, but honestly, it's not the safest route to go when it comes to having a passenger seat. Having a passenger seat for us was definitely a necessity just because, again, we both live in this bus. We both want to see the gorgeous views. We're traveling the country, so, you know, you're seeing remarkable and stunning views. This country is absolutely beautiful. And, you know, we're driving past most of it. A lot of times, nine times out of 10, we're in the bus driving. So we wanted to be able to have a spot where we can both sit and enjoy the views or just keep each other company and everything. I don't know if I would really change this because, again, it's not really the safest, but it was also one of our priorities. This part of the build is one of the most frequently asked questions that I get all of the time since I even started doing this type of lifestyle and creating content, and that is the shower and bathroom situation. We have a fully functioning, you know, shower here. So that shower head has 2 sections. That's how we get water. You guys saw the 50-gallon drum of water back there, and again, it's just PEX pipe that goes right basically inside the bus, and it comes out into the shower. With the toilet situation, it's pretty simple. This is just a portable toilet. I will say it is really annoying that, like, we have to dump this on a weekly basis. I mean, we do number 1 and 2s in here. Unfortunately, it's not that big of a deal. It's just another chore that we add on. But yeah, that's a pretty simple way of explaining how we go to the bathroom. The only thing that would really change is maybe look a little bit more into the compostable toilet. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have one, how that treats you, how many times you have to dump it on a monthly basis. But I would also change the storage aspect. Like, as you could tell, this is just string that is holding our bottles, and when we're traveling, driving on the road and everything, it just goes everywhere. So I would have maybe liked a little bit more of a permanent solution for this, but again, that's one of those things that I can fix tomorrow. I just, to be honest with you, haven't really felt like it. For the next section of the build, and honestly, it is one of my favorites, and I say my favorites because it's not a, you don't really see it a lot in other conversions. Like if you go on other van life conversions, you don't really see a desk area or an office area. We are not full-time content creators. We just don't create content full-time. It doesn't make us enough money. Again, it's one of those things that I hope will come into fruition. If I could make videos all day, every day, I would, but unfortunately for me, it doesn't pay the bills as of right now. So we do work a 9 to 5, and keep in mind, as I said at the top of the video, I live with my girlfriend, Kayla, so it was also important to us when we first originally were building this bus to have a little bit of a separate area if we wanted it, right? So most of the times, 9 times out of 10, to be honest with you, one of us is here and the other one is either in the bed or the living area, which is something that I'll get into in a second. But this section is pretty cool. You know, when working the 9 to 5, obviously we work remote. We can open up these doors and see the gorgeous views and scenic views. This area has seen some gorgeous and amazing, stunning views here in America. Another cool thing that I also wanted to have, because I'm not really into sitting down all day when it comes to staying at a desk, is I wanted to have a stand-up desk as well. So this can turn into a stand-up desk. It can be a regular desk, and of course we have a regular office chair. I got all of these things on Facebook Marketplace. It was really cheap. You don't have to go all out on this. The table was on Facebook Marketplace. This was like 20 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. The chair I think was like 50. So really cheap, but also a really key area and section of this build. For the living area of this build, that's the section that we kind of call it. This has definitely changed a lot over time. And I say that because this, right now, it looks like a couch, but 9 times out of 10, it is actually a table, a 2-person booth. It could be a 4-person booth. It could be an L couch. It could be a U couch. And it all can also turn into a twin-size bed. Now, when it comes to actually changing this section, I really wouldn't change much. The only thing that I can think of changing with this section, because again, I really do love this section, I would actually change the pillows within this section of the build, because when we are driving, these pillows are going everywhere, just because they're not really, I mean, I can show you guys. I mean, they come out, right? So one thing that I can possibly do is put some Velcro right here and maybe just put it in certain sections of the thing. Obviously I can't put it here because this is our table that actually lifts up and turns into a 2 to 4-person booth. But I wish I had some Velcro, sticky Velcro, that I can put on the bottom of these pillows, because again, they're constantly moving everywhere, just like the shampoos and the bars of soap and inside the shower storage. Like, I mean, you think we're going 60 miles an hour across the country, like things are definitely going to shake and move and everything, but it's not the biggest problem in the world, but it's just annoying when you drive 5 hours and you got to put everything, like it's one of those things that I would definitely change. Okay, and now for, I say, one of the most important parts of the build, the more, sophisticated parts of the build. The entire build, as I said, was built around this kitchen. I mean, part of the build was built around this living area as well, but the kitchen was the first thing that we thought about when it comes to building this entire bus. With that being said, I will say, although it is one of my favorite parts of the build, I think we planned it out perfectly, just like symmetrically how we did things. I would also change a lot with this part of the build as well. Starting with the cabinets, they are constantly chipping, breaking, coming apart. They're just, oh my god, they're a big nuisance. Keep in mind, we literally custom built these cabinets, so nothing is ever going to be perfect. These upper caps look fine, everything works fine. I wish I put some hinges on this so I don't have to literally hold this on my head to get things. But in terms of the lower parts of the build, as you could tell, these cabinets have been through the ringer. This face completely came off. This is a cabinet. We don't even consider it a cabinet anymore. We just consider it a cubby because it actually came off. We put this bungee cord on here because these things constantly fall out when we're driving. There are a lot of good things that I love personally about this kitchen. that we built pretty good, and that is first off our stovetop, and we also have an oven. It's kind of a combination of both. If you guys are familiar with this space, this is just one of those things. It's kind of a must-have, just because you kind of have options, right? We have 3 burners on this stovetop, and then we also have an oven. Now, one thing I will say about the oven is that we barely use it, maybe twice a month, maybe like 2 to 3 times a month, I'd say, to make cookies or muffins and everything. But Kayla is a baker, so that was definitely a necessity for her. I just wish we used it a little bit more, to be honest with you, because this entire thing was, I believe, $600. We have a sink. Again, it's pretty simple, 2 settings. One of the more simple parts of the boat. Up here, we have some upper cap storage. I would also, I know I'm kind of shitting on this section, but I would also change a lot of things about these storage, this upper storage. I mean, like, it is really unorganized, and I'd say, I mean, as you could tell, things are just, you know, flying out every single time I open one of these things. And then, of course, we have to have food, right? So how do you have food? We have our 12-volt fridge. No complaints over here. One thing that I will say is that this fridge is actually really big for what we have, for what we need, really. That fridge can last us easily 2 weeks worth of food if we wanted to. All of this is custom, but this is one of the parts of the build that has not given up on us. It hasn't broken, it hasn't chipped. Everything still works. As you can tell, it's a very tight area, but we could fit so many things in here, and that's what I love about this section of this build. I mean, we need spices. I also have the bottom section filled out just to be filled for cereal boxes. I love cereal. I'm on a little bit of a health kick, so I haven't been having cereal, but if we need it, it is there. And now for the final part of this entire bus build, we have the bed area. A lot of people, what they do is they keep it simple. They have a twin or a full, but for us, I personally hate sleeping ass to ass. I need my space, and you know, that was definitely essential for us. So we got a queen size bed, we fitted it in here, and I'd say that we still have a lot of more space to play with. As you guys can tell without this build, it's not like the bed is taking up as much space as you would think it would, especially if it's going horizontally like this, which is another reason why we did that, right? We wanted to make sure that we had enough room back there. If I were to change something about this section of this build, I would definitely change this area. I feel like we could have done it so much more better. I mean, like, it's kind of annoying that, like, you can see our clothes. I mean, we put up these curtains and everything just to kind of cover it, to make it look more aesthetically pleasing and kind of separate it and everything. But to me, I wish there was just a better way that we could have done this. We don't have, I know a lot of people, they have like hangers and everything to hang their clothes and stuff, but for us, that just like, it felt like it just took up way too much space. So we ended up, you know, basically just folding all of our clothes. Up here I have like, you know, underwear, socks, you know, bathing suits, shorts, t-shirts, and then all the way under here I have my sweatshirts and my sweatpants and everything. And I will say it does fit everything, but again, I just wish it was just a little bit more cleaner. Finally, one of the more important parts of the build is this TV. This is basically where we watch Netflix. I play video games on this TV as well. I just put my Xbox right on this ledge right here, connected to the HDMI, and I'm good to go. This is also pretty cool here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we put it on a swivel. And the reason why that is because if we ever wanted to maybe just sit at the table like we do sometimes and eat and everything, we want to watch like a show or watch a UFC fight, we can just swing it over here and we're cool. And then if we ever want to get in bed, you just swing it back. You can actually pull it in, you can pull it out. It's pretty useful, I gotta say. Now, I said this in my original home tour, my bus tour and everything, that I thought that I covered everything. But now that I'm thinking about it, I really didn't cover much. I only covered like the basic sections and everything. So now I feel very confident that I covered every section a part of this build. I feel as though I also covered a lot of things that I would change part of this build, what I wouldn't change, what broke, what didn't break, what we installed, what we upgraded, which honestly, to be honest with you, wasn't as much as you would think, just because I feel like we really built the bus as good as possible. I mean, again, things break, things happen, cabinets chip, You know, things just happen all the time. Anything that happens in a house happens inside a bus, if not more inside a bus. So we were definitely not shocked that things would break. It's just, I thought we built the bus so good to the point where we wouldn't really change as much. Personally, me speaking, I would definitely change up the kitchen just a little bit and how we went about it. I would change a couple things on top of the roof. I would definitely change how we chose the vehicle. I would have chosen maybe a little bit newer vehicle, maybe done a couple more tests in terms of reliability reasons, because again, we've been through the ringer with this bus. But other than that, I feel as though we've did pretty good. And after living on the road for about a year, other than the transmission blowing and everything, inside that bus has been treating us very, very, very well. And if you guys have any other questions about certain sections of part of the build, or you thought I didn't cover certain sections of part of the build, or you want me to talk a little bit more about certain sections of the build, or have any other questions or comments or concerns or anything, then just please drop it down in the comment section. I love getting real like this, talking to you guys like this, and being transparent about my build. And I gotta say, we've named her Shelby, and I'm really proud of Shelby for sticking with us for close to a year and a half now. So we've been doing good, and hopefully this bus will last us in the many years to come. But if you guys like this content, then please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao.